Hello everybody, my name is Jeff, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what it's like to be a new parent of somebody that has cystic fibrosis. Now I remember before Haley was born, when first found out that Haley was going to have CF, went to the internet, went to Google, typed it in, and everything on there was doom and gloom. So I'm hoping I can shed a little light as to what you can expect when your little one arrives that has cystic fibrosis. If you are not a new parent that's expecting a child with cystic fibrosis, you might not want to watch this video, or feel free to watch the video anyway. I mean, hey, I like video views, and I hope that the information I put out there is correct. And if I put anything out there that's incorrect, make sure you put a comment down there. Let me know. Let me know if we're doing a good job or not. First thing, should you have your child once you find out that she has cystic fibrosis? Now, there are ways to figure out prior to birth if your child has CF or not. In order to create a child that has cystic fibrosis, you have to have two carriers that carry the gene. So the mother and the father both have to be carriers of cystic fibrosis. Now, if only one of them is a carrier, there's no chance that your child will have cystic fibrosis. If both of you are carriers, there is a 25% chance that your child will have cystic fibrosis. How do you know if you're a carrier? Blood work. You can go get labs done. They typically test the mother to see if they are a carrier of the CF gene. They won't typically test the father unless the mother tests positive, and then the father will be tested to see if they are a carrier of the CF gene. I had no idea that I was a carrier of the CF gene, and all of my family, none of them had any idea as far as that they were carriers. So that means that somebody along the bloodline, they had to be carriers of the mutation in order for me to be a carrier of the mutation. Let's say you're both carriers, but you want to know before the baby's born if your baby has cystic fibrosis. They can do a procedure which will essentially stick a needle in, take fluid out from the mother, from the sac, the womb, and then get that tested to see if the baby has the mutation, the cystic fibrosis mutations. There is a risk that comes along with that. So just be mindful of that if that's one of the options that you want to do. Definitely talk to your doctor, because I am not a medical expert at all. I am just a dad of a child that has cystic fibrosis. So you find out that your child is going to have cystic fibrosis. What do? The first thing you're probably going to do is what I did. I went to the internet and I Googled cystic fibrosis. Everything I found on the internet was doom and gloom. So please do not go to the internet unless you go to our website, the Cystic Fibrosis Life, on either Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Don't believe anything else you see. No, I'm just kidding. Talk to your doctors. Please don't just see the doom and gloom in it, because yes, it is a very deadly disease, and it's an awful disease, and we want to get a cure for it for our little ones, but you have to stay positive. You have to be the fighter for your little one until they are old enough to fight, and then you will still fight for them because you are their parent. So of course you're going to fight for your child. Next up, we'll talk about what the early years are like, or from what I can remember from when Haley was a little one. Now she's 7 now, so it has been quite a lot of time since she was a baby. I remember didn't get much sleep. The treatments, you must do the treatments for your little ones. You might not think, especially when they're that little, like that you're making any difference, but you are. So in Haley's case, she has 2 copies of the F508 delta. She got 2 copies of that gene. There are multiple mutations of cystic fibrosis. I will go ahead and tell you that right now. There are over 1,700 different mutations of CF. So just because one person is taking CF and doing okay, or it seems like they're doing okay, there could be somebody else that's in the same boat that's doing awful. Multiple different variations of the CF gene, and that's what makes it so difficult to come up with a cure for the disease, because it's a genetic level, and there are so many different mutations of the disease. But in Haley's instance, so she's born, and instantly she's pancreatic deficient, meaning that her pancreas doesn't work correctly. So she's on enzymes in order to digest her food, to get the nutrients that she needs out of her food. That basically, they're just like I said, they're enzymes to break down the food. But with that, she's also on Pulmozyme to loosen up the thick mucus that gets jammed in her lungs, because it could lead to lung infections, and you don't want to get a lung infection when you're somebody that has cystic fibrosis. Your lungs are very fragile. So The Palmazine she does once a day, and as a baby at night, they gave us this little neb cup thing that would fit over her little nose, and she's asleep in her crib, and you have to like get down beside the crib and then stick your hand through and then hold it there while the nebulizer machine's running, and then you have to hold it on them while they are doing their treatment. Now you can do that with them like sitting up, or you want them to be sitting up so that they'll breathe it in. It's not fun. Your baby is not going to like it, but it is best for their health, especially in the long term. Basically, your job as the parent is to keep them as healthy as possible for as long as possible so that we can get that cure. The life expectancy when Haley was born was into her late 30s to early to mid 40s. Now as medicine progresses, there's new medications out. Trikafta is one of them that she is eligible for in terms of she has the mutation, she would be able to take it. However, she's not old enough to take it. It's only FDA approved right now for children that are 12 and older, and she is 7. So she's not quite there, but that is something that we're looking at, and from what I've read so far, it's been doing great things. But we'll have to see once she becomes old enough. There'll be more data. That's one of the things with these medications is they're all brand new, so we don't know the long-term effects or if there really is any long-term effects once you start the medication. So treatments, like I said before, you got to make sure that they get their albuterol, which is in liquid form, and then you got to hold it over in a neb cup. Make sure that they do that, as well as until they're about 2 to 3 years old, they're going to be too small to do what I call the thumper vest. Basically, that vest helps you shake up and it gets all the junk out. I've got a few videos of that as well. I'll link them up and say they'll pop up here on the screen somewhere right here to check those videos out. But basically, the vest breaks up the mucus that gets trapped in their lungs. You do the Palmazine once a day. The Palmazine helps thin out that mucus so that they can cough it up easier to get that junk out. And that's what you want. You want them to clear their lungs to get that junk out. The thing with Palmazine is it is most effective if you do it every single day. So you have to make sure that you're doing it every single day. So if you've got any trips or anything planned, you got to keep that medication cold. So you got to have a plan for that, whether it is a ice pack or something along those lines. Typically when we travel, if we're going to be out and about, I've got a bunch of ice packs that I bought at Target, the reusable ones, and I freeze those, and then I have a bag specifically for medications, and I have all that stuff in there to make sure that it stays cold. Treatments, treatments, and treatments. I can't say it enough. You have to make sure that your little one is getting their treatments. That is the best way to try to keep them as healthy as possible. So they might fight you on it. They might hate you for it once they start talking, but you have to make sure that they do their treatments. Stay positive for your little one. Let them know that they are loved. Let them know that just because they are different, it doesn't mean that they're any less of a person. It is a little bit restrictive, especially when they're sick. You could be doing the vest up to 4 times a day. You could be taking all kinds of different medications. But at the end of the day, let them know that you love them because they're going to come to you. You have to be their rock. You have to be the one to support them. And if they do get sick, you have to stay strong for them. Luckily, so far, we've been very fortunate. Little one has only been in the hospital once. She developed a staph infection in her lungs right before she was a year old. And other than that, I mean, yeah, she's been junky here and there, and she's been sick a couple times, but she has done very, very well. In fact, we just went to clinic this week, and she has gained 3 pounds since her last clinic, and her PFT was 94%. So that's pretty good too. Last clinic, she was pretty sickly, and her PFT was really bad. But then we went back for a follow-up, and it was better. It's just that when they're junky, they don't do so well on the PFT. So that's about all the beginning tips that I have if you're starting out as a parent of a little one with cystic fibrosis. If you do see this video and you would like more information, definitely check out the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. I'll try to link that in the video as well. If it's not linked in the direct video, it will be posted below in the description box. As well as if you yourself have any questions about cystic fibrosis, feel free to leave me a comment. If you don't want to leave a comment and you would rather email, you can do that as well. You can either send us a private message through Facebook, through the Cystic Fibrosis Life on Facebook, or you can send us an email at thecysticfibrosislife@gmail.com. If you liked today's video, please leave a like. Lets me know that I'm doing things right. As well as if you want to see further videos on what we do and what we cover, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon, and then you will be notified every single time that we make a video. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.